Hey, what's up people? I feel like it's been forever since my last upload and so much has happened, but at the same time, like, nothing has happened. I've been in this weird limbo state here, like kind of stuck in Arizona, not really working because I was working for my pops before and his shops are in El Paso, Texas. And also I haven't really looked into what I'm going to be able to do now that I'm missing an arm. Who knows? Anyway, I wanted to talk a little bit about phantom limb pain today. Phantom limb pain could be described as the pain that one feels after they've lost either a limb, like a hand, an arm per se, a leg. And phantom limb pain is actually a little bit of a misnomer because you don't necessarily have to lose a limb to feel pain in that body part. For example, if you lose an eyeball or even a tooth, you could feel pain in that body part that's not there anymore, and that would be under the same umbrella, the same category as phantom limb pain. I have had very severe phantom limb pain. Although I haven't done a lot of research on this, I have read that if you had a lot of pain prior to the amputation, your chances of having severe phantom limb pain increases, if that makes sense. When this began in the first Airbnb where I shot the first video, I had like debilitating phantom limb pain to where I couldn't really do anything for a large part of the day, and a lot of that pain felt like someone is torturing me. For example, one of the ones that really kind of bothers me is I'll feel like, you see that little part where, like, come on, focus camera, where where the nail meets the fleshy part of your finger. I think it's called the cuticle. Anybody? We'll call it the cuticle. I feel like someone's sticking a screwdriver in there and just trying to like split my nail from my finger. Anything. It doesn't feel nice. And I feel it mostly on my thumb and my index finger on this hand that's not there. Another sensation that I feel is, I don't know if you guys have ever pierced or stapled your fingers, maybe when you were in grade school accidentally. You're in a hurry to get out to recess and you go and you staple your homework or whatever, and then your finger is just bleeding, there's a staple through it or something. Well, I did that several times and my girlfriend laughed. She's like, no one ever does that. She said I was a dumb little kid. I did it like twice. I remember the first time actually, shout out to a dude named Gino. He was a savage because I stapled my finger and I was like, crying, trying to hold back the tears. I was probably crying. And this dude was just like, we're in first grade, so we're both like 6, maybe 7. He grabs a stapler and he just staples each finger, pa, 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 and then he shows me, he's like, look. And this kid's crazy. Later on we met in high school and he was pretty cool. So another one of the sensations that I feel is that my hand is like glued together or stapled together, I don't know, and I'm trying to separate it, I'm trying to open it, and it just like feels like the skin is ripping from the other tissue. Like I'm opening it so hard, but it's stuck together and it's just like tearing little by little. When I was in the hospital and they were working on my hand trying to save it, they were saying you have to try and move it. I tried really hard to move my hand, and a lot of it, my hand was stuck in this kind of position, and I was trying to open it, and in my mind I feel like that's why it's stuck in that position, and I'm trying to open it but like it's stuck together, and my imagination, it feels like the skin is tearing, and that's so frustrating. The very last one I want to talk about that really kind of sucks, and I have a cousin who, her cousin, so I don't know if that's like my cousin, twice related, something like that. He actually got his arm stuck in an industrial grade meat grinder, and he was cleaning them after work, and one of them was still on and he had headphones on. He stuck his arm in there to clean it and it started grinding his arm up, and they pulled him out, and because it was pulling him in, and his co-workers saw him and they pulled him out of that. Basically they grinded his arm up and they had to amputate it. And this happened in Juarez, Chihuahua. So it makes me Chihuahua, the Mexican border city to El Paso. In Mexico, if you're not like in a major city like Mexico City and you don't have health insurance or money up front, it's kind of difficult to get good medical care. and he was just in pain for. Anyway, I'm diverging. He said that we mutually have this pain in common, and this pain is like something is drilling into my hand, like into the palm of my hand, like someone stuck one of those drills that get like bigger and bigger, you know, to drill a hole, and they're just slowly getting through my hand. And actually, now that I'm talking about it, I'm starting to feel it a little bit, and I've noticed that when I talk about the different pain sensations, it's like it starts happening, and I really don't have a theory for that. Let's talk about some of the treatments that there are. So phantom limb pain is really not very well understood in the scientific community, in the medical community, and that's because just not a lot of research had been done for amputees and this condition prior to our Middle Eastern conflict. So actually, this is always kind of a topic that hits hard to many people, especially our fellow Americans who have gone to war and lost either their lives or been changed forever in this manner. Basically, what I'm trying to get to is that since we've had troops out there, our amputee population has risen dramatically. And although that's a tragedy, and I wish personally that it didn't have to be that way, because of that, a lot of money has been poured into research of phantom limb pain due to the... Forgot what I was saying.
Hey, I'm hungry.
Why'd you do this to me?
I'm hungry.
Alright, let me just finish up. I'm gonna
It's 11.
It's my girlfriend. She either is hungry or sleepy. I think those are her only emotions, really. Her name is Julie. You can find her at... I'm gonna post her Instagram down here, so go ahead and give her a follow. But don't expect anything. Expect maybe 3 posts a year. A few take me back volleys, TBT. Just kidding. So traditionally, we're treated with opiate-based medicine for pain. So that's stuff like morphine or tramadol or oxycodone, Percocet. Basically, all these painkillers work in the same way in your body. They block some pain receptors in your brain, and they do it very well. The only problem is that these are very addicting, and not only are they very addicting, they're bad for your health. And that's a whole nother topic as well that I actually do want to touch on in a later video. Our opiate crisis right now, and all the people that it's affected in the last 2 decades. It's worked very well for me. That's actually the treatment I'm on right now. I'm taking Percocet, which is oxycodone, and another medicine blended together. And I'm also taking a neuropathic pain reliever, and that's called gabapentin. And that's actually working very well since my dosage was up. So that's what I'm doing right now. But if you're not into the pills, actually I'm not really into the pills, but you know, when someone's digging a hole through your hand, kind of you'll do anything to make it stop. Unless they're torturing you to get some info out of you. Never get the info out of me. I ain't no squealing bitch. Okay, besides that, there's other treatments available. One of the more popular ones that a lot of vets are using right now and is very suggested through healthcare is the mirror therapy. So basically how it works is if you have a good side and if you you have an amputated side, you want to put a mirror here and you want to cover up this side so that you can't see that you're missing the limb, and you want the mirror to simulate your left hand with your right hand. And basically you do exercises and you try to mimic it in your brain through this side, and that helps rewire your brain back to its original state before the amputation to help decrease the pain. At least that's how I've understood the theory behind it. I looked on Amazon to buy one of these, and they're like 75 bucks. I'm pinching pennies right now because I don't know how much money I'm gonna have to give these surgeons that took my arm off. So what I decided to do after consulting with my girlfriend, after talking to her a little bit, we decided to build the box of our own. We thought it'd be kind of fun if we go up to a craft store and pick out some things and build my own mirror box. So with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys really quick our adventure to Michael's craft store and the creation of my makeshift mirror box. Go ahead and now. Alright, so I'm going to show you guys what the plan is here. So basically, I think we walked out of Michael's paying $39.89. And so
this piece was $14.99, this piece was $11.99. I got some Velcro for $3.69 and this mirror right here for $5.99.
Alright, so here's the plan really quick. And we're going to turn this drawer looking thing into the mirror box in this orientation. So basically what I want to do is I want to remove this surface, and that's going to be where my half arm enters to hide the fact that I have no forearm or hand. And then the mirror is actually going to be placed here, but the mirror was too small, so I got to create another surface, which is what this is going to be. And I'm either going to super glue it or hot glue it or something onto here. And then on this surface I could go ahead and put my mirror on there. Alright, so without further ado, let's get going. Guys, I have my finished product here. Some of it is still drying, and the mirror, I velcroed it on there as you guys saw. So I'm not sure how good that actually stuck on there, so we're gonna figure that out a little later. I don't want to pull it off, but this is pretty much what we got. I'm gonna show you guys where I'm gonna be sticking my arm. At first I was a little bit concerned about this. I wanted to take this off because I thought that my hand was gonna be, or my arm, whatever's left of it, was gonna be laying flat on here. But when I did my simulated attempt here, I realized that it's really not gonna be laying on because my hand exercises don't rely on it resting on the ground if the ground is right here. So I'm gonna leave that as is. We'll see how this works. Thanks. So I haven't really been too faithful on the mirror box therapy. I've read online that you should do it for 1 or 2 hours a day, and I've really done it like 15 minutes a day at most. And so I really don't have an opinion on whether if it works or not. I will say this, when my pain is really bad, that's usually when I go and hit up the mirror box, and it doesn't decrease the pain, but in the moment it kind of like pauses it, or not pauses it, but it doesn't increase in intensity. So my pain doesn't get worse while I'm focusing on the mirror box, but it doesn't decrease either. So I'm gonna try really hard these next few weeks to really put in the time for mirror box therapy, so I could have an accurate personal opinion on the therapy, and I could share that with you guys. Potentially some new amputees who are going to be watching this for however long it's on YouTube. I just want to finish off with saying that it's been rough, and I try to be very positive on here, and I try to share a good message, you know, which is that there's obstacles in everybody's life, whether it's an amputated arm, or the recent passing of a loved one, or any medical condition really that you or a loved one is afflicted by. Or, you know, everyone has their problems, from like teenagers that are heartbroken, or anyone that's heartbroken for that matter. But you know, we're all going through stuff, and it's okay to mourn for yourself every now and again. This takes me back to that I can't remember her name, but she's a burn victim. Her burns are so severe that you can't really, like, her face was reconstructed. I remember being very inspired by her story. Anyway, she says that she only allows herself to cry about the situation for like 5 minutes a day. And that really hits hard because I've wasted a lot of time crying for myself. It hits me the hardest when I shower because I take this off, and it doesn't look pretty, not at all. I've always been confident in my appearance. To look at like a deformity that I have now, not only that, my arm is gonna wither away and it's gonna get small and smaller and that gets to me sometimes, you know. And then when I start sinking into that hole, I start thinking about my previous goals. You know, I wanted to be the UFC lightweight champion of the world, featherweight champion of the world, probably feather because I'm a little skinnier than the lightweights, but that was a goal of mine, and I really don't think I could have been stopped from achieving what I wanted to achieve. But you know, life kind of threw a curveball at me, and those goals are just not as realistic as they were a couple months ago, and I break down sometimes. And luckily I have the support of my girlfriend, the support of my family, the support of my friends, and hopefully the support of you that I may not know that are watching this. And know that, you know, if you're ever in a similar situation, I'm always available. I have my email listed on here, so you know I'm always willing to build a relationship to help someone out, because that's why I'm doing this. That's why I'm recording my recovery, the process. And unfortunately, part of the process is mourning for yourself. It's okay to do that, but it's not okay to stay in that hole. The longer you mourn for yourself, the deeper that hole gets. So take a note from Mrs. Mourn yourself, but limit it, and then be productive. Work on new goals. Work towards those goals. Keep busy. Most importantly, work towards being happy, because it's tough and it's easier for some people than others, but you know, it's worth working for. For me, it's very easy. I laugh a lot and I laugh often, and I want to share that with y'all, and I hope that every now and again I can make you laugh. And that's about all I have to say. I extended this a little bit longer than I wanted to. So with that said, you guys take care. I'm gonna be uploading some more updates. Oh, really quick, some updates. So last time I talked to y'all, I had just left the hospital and I had a skin graft surgery scheduled. That has been done. They actually took a huge portion of my thigh. If you could see that red part, it goes like all the way up to here. And they basically cut, it still kind of burns a little bit. They cut the surface living layer of skin, like a little slice. They cut it off and they wrapped it around here. And what that does is that surface layer is actually a bunch of stem cells. So it promotes growth of skin in this area, because this whole area was basically just muscle tissue and bone and whatever other tissue is there, maybe a little bit of fat. But that's healing up, and that should be the last of my surgeries. I'm just working now on healing that up and hopefully taking the bandages off soon for good, so that I can begin kind of the next chapter of this recovery. I'm gonna be leaving Arizona for a few weeks. I'll be back here for follow-ups, and maybe I'll have to move here, so I'm still kind of figuring that out, like move here permanently. I don't know what the next step in particular here is, but I'll be back soon and I'll upload more often. I want to give a big shout out to 10th Planet El Paso, who put up a quintet style jiu-jitsu tournament for to help me out with expenses, and that was a huge success. I'm actually gonna probably make a video about the whole weekend in El Paso. Shout out to them. I love you guys. Hit them up on, I'll probably put that up, the address and all that, if you're ever interested in doing jiu-jitsu. Also, big shout out to my Dark Clan family out in Austin, Texas. They've been with me throughout this whole thing, and so thank you guys. I love you too. Big shout out to Katie, who put up this GoFundMe for my expenses. Guys, I cannot tell you how grateful I am. I think I've raised over $3,000, which has just like giving me such peace of mind for the rest of this year, as far as like my usual expenses, rent, food, that kind of stuff, while I worry about the big bills. I was expecting like $300, guys, which I would have still been super grateful for. That's like gas for who knows how long. But $3,000, I can't thank you guys enough. Shout out to y'all watching here on YouTube. I hope y'all are doing great, and I'll see you guys soon.